Hi, and welcome to San Felasco Tech City. I'm Mitch Glaeser. I'm the CEO of the Emory Group of Companies, which owns and operates the San Felasco Tech City. It's an 82-acre mixed-use development, including over 270,000 square feet of tech space, a cafe, a brewery, a wine bar, after-school programs, a preschool, on-site recreational facilities with a swimming pool, volleyball, tennis, and basketball. Along with other walking trails and a myriad of other amenities for the folks that are also going to live out here, and the over 250 homes that are also being built in Tech City. Tech City is a very unique project. Really unmatched by anything that we've been able to find anywhere in the world, in that we are producing a sustainable community solely off of solar that actually powers the whole 82-acre campus. So it's not only on-site production, but it's also for on-site consumption. And that's a very unique characteristic, is that we're not having to bring high-tension power lines into the project, generating utility function way off campus and having to use those transmission lines, which is somewhat an inefficient way to transfer energy to even begin with. The campus is actually going to have so much solar that it's going to offset, as an example, over 4.4 million pounds of coal each year as an equivalent of energy generation. Also, if you think about it in automobile terms, that actually counteracts over 10 million miles of car usage here, in America as well. So we're taking great steps to kind of have this proof of concept where we can actually have this live, work, play interaction, where there's a lot of moving pieces that all fit together between the housing and the the cafes and different kinds of things, of course, on-campus work as well. And so it's a very unique project. There's a lot of different aspects to it, but that's certainly just kind of the beginning cornerstones of what we're doing out here.
Great, thank you, Mitch. That was a great explanation of things. Could you tell me, you have also brought in some tenants out here through some entrepreneurial type programs. Could you kind of give us a feeling of what your goals and aspirations are around helping startups and things like that?
So the campus has, being a tech city, we're certainly diving into tech. My brother Christopher actually graduated the first class of computer sciences in the 70s at the University of Florida. So our family has been uniquely very, very close from the early stages of computerization in different forms of tech, and a lot of data generation and speed of data kinds of capabilities. We also recognize that there's an amazing amount of talent at the University of Florida. University of Florida is, of course, touted as in the top 5 publicly owned universities in the country, and that talent then is making it an easy pathway for companies to actually stay, locate here in the region, and then be able to take those talents into their company and have those really, really great jobs, great culture that's been driven up here in Alachua for families to thrive in and build families around and do different kinds of things. So my business partner, Mitch Glaeser, and I thought, creatively, like, how can we develop a very flexible, fluid kind of community, be it Tech City, that allows these companies to come into smaller spaces and actually grow into larger ones, so they can actually morph forward and actually grow and expand and thrive within the ecosystem.
With solar being a large component of this, you had to find a solar energy company to partner with. You chose PPM Solar, which is a company in Gainesville. It's local here. Could you give me just a rundown of what your interactions have been with the company and how you feel about the service you've had so far and the installation process? And are they working well with you on putting up the phases and the things that you need?
So you're right. There has been a very well-organized cooperation, not only between PPM, the solar provider, but also the companies that are coming out here. So you'd asked me the question before, some of the attractions, if you will, of why there are over 50 companies already at Tech City, as an example. We're getting a new company about every 3 weeks. This has been the average deal flow for us right now, which is almost unheard of, quite honestly. It's a very significant number to hit in 3.5 years to have over 50 companies. Part of the conversation we've had with these companies is they're very, very dialed into what the Gen Z, the Gen X, and the millennials are really looking for. So there's qualities that they're looking for. They want that culture and that cooperation, not only from just the utter space and the kind of company that we're working for, but also what are the surroundings look and feel like. So we actually figured out a way to produce enough energy that we're actually overproducing on campus. So that overproduction goes out to the grid. And then at night, we take some of that back because, of course, the sun's not burning. But the companies are very attracted to that. So we met with PPM and we started figuring out what kinds of capabilities do we need to have to really maximize that solar potential. So the first one was roof clearance. So we're able to take the MEP, the mechanical, the electrical, and the plumbing, which a lot of that comes up through the roof or even sits on the roof, be it an AC unit or whatever. And so what we do is we truncate those services, so be it electric runs or AC sets or whatever, and then we open up the rest of the rooftop for nothing but solar. So we don't have to have walk pads, we don't have the AC scattered about and so forth. So they helped us navigate, like, here's what you need to do. And if you want maximum efficiency, because most buildings don't have the roof space to produce enough energy for what's under them, but we have found a way to do that. Then we have this promenade aspect, and we were like, okay, well, we have that, and we want to shade it. So the initial iterations was to shade the promenades with like canvas type material, whatever. And PPM came to us and said, you realize you're so far off the ground that you ought to employ this new technology, which is this bifacial solar array. And so the bifacial capability allows for a solar panel to be on the bottom to catch refractive energy off Earth's surface, along with another panel on the same piece of glass that catches off the sun side. So we ran the whole promenade, which was 50 feet wide and over 300 feet long. And we're able to now really maximize the kind of aspect. Well, what happens with that is, and a lot of people, don't really think about the next step beyond that, is there's a heating element that comes with solar, right? So the panels get very hot. They're regulated, but they get a lot hotter than the outside temperature, of course. And what we're able to do is actually stagger those through the system, and actually the solar panels allow the buildings to actually breathe between them. So when you come look at the structure, you see this architectural feature, which actually is a breathing feature. So now you have some historical problems with solars. There's so much heat generation that you actually, if you capture that heat under it, then you're causing the buildings themselves to be heated, right? Well, actually, and which is counterproductive, because you're producing that energy to run air conditioners to heat the buildings that you're heating. So we had the opposite effect, and PPM was actually able to help kind of work with us in our design team to kind of figure out, like, how can we maximize like do a reverse play on it. Instead of impacting the buildings negatively, how can we impact them positively? So anytime you're in the promenade and the sun's out or whatever, you'll never be in the promenade without a breeze, because there's actually this heat generation that's being sucked from both sides of the buildings. So it's those design characteristics that they were really able to help us. And the companies that come out here, they love the architectural feature, they love the sustainability. They serve as multi-purpose corridors, not only for pedestrian use, but also food trucks and different activities. We've even had weddings out here and all kinds of different activities, fundraisers for charitable groups and so forth. And of course, you know, holiday celebrations and those kinds of things take place in the promenades as well. And the last characteristic is our solar trees. This is something that I've advocated for more than a decade to actually go into. You know, when I was doing projects in Gainesville, and actually Gainesville wouldn't allow me to do it. So I said, well, I'll just come up here in Alachua and start doing this. And we get people from all over the world that literally come and take pictures with the solar trees. We average over 2 cars a day actually come into the complex, pull off to the side, get out, take a picture with the solar tree and post it and different things. So we know it's a really cool art form as well, and we're big into art. And so the promenade's somewhat an art form because it's architecturally featured, although it's very functional. And the solar trees are too. So we're celebrating solar, and I know PPM loves that. I mean, we're somewhat becoming this you know, poster child, if you will, of solar and how to really integrate it from an architectural feature, from a artistic form, and then functionality. And when you can do all 3 of those, you know, that's magic.